bucking tradition today will be Melania Trump. She will not be by her husband's side at the White House. Typically, the incoming and outgoing first ladies will meet, which Mrs. Trump did back in 2016. There are also reports Melania will not be moving to Washington for this presidency. Her team is shooting down the rumors as media speculation, but it is raising questions about what exactly her role will look like this go around. And joining me now is Anita McBride, the director of the First Ladies Initiative at American University. Anita, thank you very much for being here. Now, it has been confirmed Melania Trump will be skipping the White House meeting with Jill Biden. Coincidence or a message?
I think less a message or coincidence than a confident decision that we should not be surprised that Mrs. Trump always goes her own way. And I think let's remember two things. One, it's most important that the presidents meet. That's the optic. That's most important for the country. It is a nice tradition. I happen to like the tradition that the first ladies also take a moment to be with each other. But this is a very different time for Mrs. Trump than it was in 2016. The White House was an unknown. She's now very familiar with the White House. She lived there for 4 years. It hasn't been that long since she has lived there. She knows a lot of the staff. So that unfamiliarity is not an issue for her. And I think that also contributes to not feeling the pressure to have to come, despite the fact that tradition is a nice tradition here.
What is the significance of the First Lady, and what does Melania skipping this do to her image?
I think Mrs. Trump is not worried about her image. I think she's very confident in who she is and is setting the tone that once again, she's going to do things her way and not really be bound by or constricted by others' expectations of her or her role. You know, in 2016, it did send a bit of shockwaves to everybody that she wasn't moving to the White House right away. Now, this time, I think people will just accept it, that is, you know, her choice, and she'll continue to execute on this role the way that she wants to. She's not done a lot of interviews or campaigning. We've heard a little bit from her in the last month leading up to the campaign that she is looking forward to the opportunity and would continue to work on some of the things that she did in the White House. But we'll just have to see. Again, each person that comes in this role gets to do it the way that they want to. There's no position description for it. There's no salary for it. So I think everybody coming into it, whether we like what they do or not, deserves that grace.
How unusual is it, though, that a First Lady would not move to Washington?
Yeah, very unusual. She was really the first to do it. I mean, we had in our past history in our country, of course, we had one first lady who never made it to the White House. Her husband died within a month of being inaugurated, and she was on her way here and never made it here. That's a very different, experience with Mrs. Harrison. But beyond that, it is just, inauguration day. We have generally expected to see our first families move in.
All right, that is our time. Anita, thank you very much for being here.
Of course, always. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Anita McBride is the director of the First Ladies Initiative at American University.